i bawb i lansiau swyddogol Cymdeithas Addysg Gweithwyr Cymru. Ar ein newydd wedd, yn dilyn uniad a ddau sefydliad sef Coleg Harlech, Cymdeithas Addysg Gweithwyr Gogledd Cymru a Chymdeithas Addysg Gweithwyr De Cymru, dechrau'r mis. Good afternoon, and thank you, Rob, for that introduction. I hope I can live up to it. And thank you all for inviting me here today for the official launch of the Workers' Education Association Cymru, following the recent merger of Coleg Harlech WEA North and the Workers' Education Association of South Wales. I really am genuinely and personally delighted to be here today to join you in celebrating what is an important landmark and in looking forward to what undoubtedly heralds an exciting future for adult education and training throughout Wales. This merger represents a positive commitment to the future of adult learning in Wales, as Rob has mentioned. It provides an opportunity to enhance teaching and learning in the community and creates a viable all-Wales adult education and skills organisation, whilst retaining and strengthening the internationally recognised WEA brand. As such, this merger is a very important one in the Welsh Government's transformation agenda, and I anticipate further developments in this area as the months go by. I was particularly pleased to receive the invitation to be present here today from the new board. While, as we all know, the merger process has sometimes proved difficult, it is clearly evident that both institutions have placed the requirements of learners, businesses and communities, in other words, the people they serve, at the very heart of their considerations. They have made every effort to conduct the process in as seamless a way as possible to achieve the best outcome, opening new opportunities and synergies for learners. The two organisations have a proud and justly celebrated history of delivering adult education in the community. They share a similar second chance ethos when it comes to adult learners, although the structures and mechanisms for achieving their goals have been different over time. Both organisations have steadfastly upheld the traditions of adult education, adhering to the vision of the wider Workers' Education Association, while paying due regard to the language, culture and diversity of communities in Wales. In championing vocational education and training, they have enabled adults to return to learning and fulfil their potential and stimulated individual development. The WEA also provides opportunities for socially and educationally disadvantaged adults in communities and workplaces across Wales to access learning outside of the traditional education provision, promoting citizenship, cultural enrichment, social justice, health and general well-being, and in doing so they change lives. These are the characteristics which closely attune with those aspects of Welsh Government policy that Rob has touched upon. This merger will take the best from each, enhancing the delivery structure of community-based education to meet the needs of a 21st century Wales. Indeed, from very early on in the merger process, commitments were made which can now be realised and honoured. In looking forward to the future, of course, we do not forget either the past achievements or the rich history that has gone before us. I see this as moving us to the next chapter and ensuring the traditions of equity, social justice and fairness that are at the heart of both organisations, that are hardwired, I hope, into the new and not least of the list of factors in importance, the new and financially sustainable body that we now have. As the unified WEA Cymru moves forward, I congratulate you sincerely, both organisations, on the significant achievements that you've made to date. Achievements which have been reflected in the positive response to the merger, which clearly demonstrates the breadth of support for the new organisation and the opportunities it will offer to engage with learning providers and communities throughout Wales. The key aim of this merger has always been to secure the long-term viability and future development of adult learning in Wales, with a focus on maintaining improvements in the quality and standard of provision, while at the same time achieving efficiencies and improved value for money. By maintaining that focus, the new body can continue to influence and improve learning outcomes, boost skill levels, and reduce economic inactivity. This is a joined-up commitment to social engagement, to community and workforce learning and their development. And it's especially welcome in light of recent challenging times for Wales and their effects in particular on rural areas. Interesting word, that word, challenging, that you're hearing uttered by every politician at every opportunity. It's a euphemism, of course. You could read for the word challenge a number of more direct terms, I suppose, but in many cases it does involve a lot of hard graft and a lot of headaches. We conduct our business in an atmosphere which isn't necessarily conducive to the way we would like to run things here in Wales, and we are not necessarily, in all circumstances, able to fulfil our ambitions when we have, let's say, a different philosophy. Could I take the opportunity here to personally congratulate the newly united association in Wales and the partners and colleagues that make up those organisations, that association, for your vision and your drive in creating a viable and vibrant organisation. And I and my colleagues in the Welsh Government look forward to working with the WEA Wales in continuing to ensure an exciting and rewarding future for adult education and training throughout this small country. So it does give me great pleasure to acknowledge the dedication and effort that's been put in to achieve what we have come here today to celebrate, and to wish the new organisation and everyone associated with it the very best for the future of adult education in Wales. These are challenging times, and it will take every ounce of our determination and imagination here in Wales to deliver socially just solutions to the challenges that face us. But within that, and at all times, we will remember the kinds of values that have bound together the WEA, I believe since 1907, now in Wales, and that have delivered so much in terms of transforming life chances in communities up and down this country. I represent a little corner of Wales in the former coalfield area, Merthyr Tydfil and Rhymney, and I am well aware, more than aware, of the effects that the WEA has had over generations in terms of lifting the aspirations and life chances of the people in a community like that. And they have never done that as some kind of missionary organisation that parachutes itself into a community and attempts to transform it. Because the WEA has always been of the community. It's been a democratic organisation that has as much grown out of communities like mine as it has been a national organisation. Never separate, always integrated of the community. Let's continue with that philosophy and with that commitment, and we will never let this particular flame go out. Thank you.
I want to congratulate the team on this. I have survived 3 university mergers. I know about merger discussions. I have to remember a big issue for us in one of these mergers was that one university paid higher or demanded higher library fines than the other. We had a special subcommittee to sort that out. So what I can say though is as a result of these mergers, the opportunities that are available to people that weren't there before, the new colleagues that they find, the new ways of doing things, has been very, very enriching, and people have not looked back. And I feel the same will be true with WEA Cymru. We have fantastic values, really thought through values that have underpinned the WEA throughout its activities throughout the United Kingdom, but really reaffirmed here in the document that's setting up WEA Cymru. And I think you've got a fabulous team, I have to say, even though I'm being disposed of in the process. I do want to say a word, though, about learning through life, if I may. I think it is extremely important. And it is, I think, one of many reports that I've been involved in that's come through with fabulous, fantastic recommendations, which unfortunately have not all been implemented immediately. Now, if only they had, we would have been in a much better place on all sorts of fronts. But I just want to remind you of three of the things that it said, I think. And the first thing is, we really need to enable people to take control of their own lives. And I think so, you know, we need reminding of that, the helplessness that a lack of education, a lack of ability to purchase and participate gives you. That's numbing. It's like dying inside, not being able to participate in that way. So enabling people to take control of their own lives, I think, is really, really important, and that's something that the WEA does. The second thing, and this really is more for politicians, I think, and others, is if we think about the amount of money that's put into post-compulsory education and training, and we look at the age groups that it's focused on, it's overwhelmingly in the late teens, early 20s, absolutely overwhelmingly. And yet we know as skills develop and technology develops and people's position in life changes, people need lifelong learning. And if we were to redistribute some of that resource, even slightly, it could make a huge difference. So we need to rebalance resources fairly and sensibly across the different life stages. And the third one I think I just want to mention is really about a citizen's curriculum. What sorts of skills do you need to be able to engage in society in a rich way? And we identified 4 capabilities: financial, health, digital, and civic, to be a citizen. If you have skills in all 4 of those areas, you're well on the way to taking control over your own life, making decisions about your own future, and indeed helping others. And I look at my own capacity in terms of these skills, and I'm sadly lacking in many of them, particularly on the digital front. I now work as a grandmother a day and a half a week, and I have to say my grandchildren express frustration that I can't get the Peppa Pig channel up quickly enough and zoom past the adverts. I'm found wanting in this way, and in all sorts of other ways actually on the digital front. So those capabilities we need really to be able to participate in order to be making informed citizens. I've engaged in adult education. I was a very green tutor in Anisabul in the club there. I was trying to teach a sort of Marxist history of the valleys of South Wales on one side of a curtain, and on the other side of the curtain there was a boxing class with sound effects punctuating my incisive analysis from time to time. And I remember the first student that came, being in my early 20s, you know, he could have been quite young, you know, just in his 70s or something. He was a bit weak on his knees, and I finally got him sitting down. Whew. It was obviously a big effort to come to this class. But I was a bit concerned because he seemed to be the only one in my class, and I wasn't sure that I was quorate, really. And I said, do you know if anybody else is coming? Oh, yes, he said, getting his breath back. He said, your dad will be along in a minute. And he was. This was a chap in his 90s. So anyway, a few more souls turned up, fortunately, and I began my analysis of what had happened in 1926 and all of this. But But of course, they knew far more about it than I did, because they had been there and they had lived through it, and they had spent a lot of time reading Marx and various other authors. And so they would start saying, oh yes, I remember that. And then they would start talking. And in the end, these classes were me going in, introducing a topic for about a sentence and a half, and then taking notes while they taught me about the subject that I was there supposedly as an expert on. So I found being a tutor was life-changing. I'm not sure what good I did to them. But I think it is very important to keep to those values and to put that energy into focusing on them. The reason I say this is, I think the older you get, you think of all the things you've done and you think, well, which of those things were really important? It's terribly easy to waste time and energy on things that don't really matter. And therefore, it is extremely important for this new organisation to do, as its new chair has so eloquently and in an inspiring way, I think, charged us to do, is to focus on the values and to focus on delivering on a very, very important agenda to change people's lives. Thank you very much.
May I thank everyone for coming today, particularly those who've travelled a long way. Thank all our speakers and perhaps most especially Minister Hugh Lewis for finding time to share his thoughts with us today. May I wish you a safe journey home, and hopefully I'll see you at the formal launch at Carnarvon on 1st of May, isn't it? Yes. Diolch yn fawr iawn.